This series is made possible by Honda South Africa, Liat, Off-Road Cycles, Ink Monkey Vehicle Wraps, and Brits Auto.
The thing about going where we're going is that you need to get there properly, you know what I mean? So we have the documentation to get across a border. And Brits Auto decided to sponsor us for the trip. France is going to ride in style, in style. Next generation Ford Ranger Wildtrak. Portbay.
When someone has to rescue us in the desert, and obviously if you rescue with a chopper or like a light airplane that flies, so then you need a reference as to where we are. That's why we put it on the bonnet, because then you can see it from the sky, also from the moon.
Ek swear ek dink nie kan dit doen as jy probeer nie.
Look at all the lovely bubbles on this. It's trendy. It's like bubble tea. Bubble wrap. It's going to make a comeback. It's perfect. That's lovely.
Welcome to our latest adventure. This morning we were ahead of schedule.
Yes, we were 3 hours ahead of schedule.
Yes.
We are not ahead that much anymore. It took us 18 hours to do a 10-hour drive.
You know, it's dry. We took refreshments.
Enjoy it with us. We have no plan. We have no idea. We're spending a week in the red dunes of the Kalahari.
Kyk hier so, jy steek materiaal gebring, want ons wil vir jou steek sien nie.
Kaloriën gevet of so.
Ja,
wat vir nog 'n trip gebruik.
Jy het gesê jy gaan hom nou blink maak en dan gaan jy dit staan.
Skoop. Jonge dang nou af. As hy nou vir hom stokspul gedra op hierdie trip nie, gaan ek hom dit springkoek spuit. En hom blink vry.
Mr. Min.
Ja.
Wat kor hy bakkies? Mos niks.
Kyk jy hom agterop. Nee, hoor hierdie wat julle my goed so spot nee. My hart is so klein nie. Ek kan nie seker goed vat.
Ja.
Ja, dis snik ek. Dis hoekom ek gister so vroeg geroep het.
Kyk hier so, Kobus.
The group for this adventure is a mix of familiar and new faces from Gauteng, Western Cape, Northern Cape and Southern Namibia. And as expected, on the first night away from home, the guys let the reins slip somewhat, and old friends comfortably fall into sync and catch up. It's also a good opportunity to chat about the route options and challenges lying ahead for the next 5 days.
Ek snuif. Klaar. 1, 2, jy klap op 2. 1, 2. Bak is die dorp se swembad. White ball in. Shoot. Hy's nou oor my knees.
Sunrise in the Kalahari finds us in the dunes, a mere stone's throw from the South Africa-Botswana border. Our first port of call for the morning. That's once we manage to wake everyone up, of course.
Morning. Yo. My headache pulls. Adrian's sleeping on concrete. He's still asleep. So, in this adventure, he's 400 k's a desert. That's all we know. There's 400 kilometers of sand and dunes and lions. Coffee. Someone said coffee. Let's get going.
For us, city folk, this was the opportunity to do some early morning tracking. And it seemed clear, even to the untrained eye, that there was some unusual nocturnal activity.
Ja wat? Lekker geslaap?
Heerlik. Laaste 5 minute wonderbaarlik.
Môre Fanny.
Môre.
Lekker geslaap?
Fantasties. Môre Johnny.
Ora. Dis maklik.
Sien maklik hierdie goeters.
Kan dit beter raak?
Keep telling yourself that. Hierdie was die beste gewees wat dit ooit gaan wees.
Some legendary machines stood watch as everyone started gathering around the fire for a cup of coffee. And then it's time to gear up and pack the kitchen and camping gear vehicles that'll be following the riding group through the desert.
So it's 7 o'clock in the morning and we have to be at breakfast at 8 o'clock.
That's not going to happen.
So what are you doing?
I'm trying to assemble a Chinese table. The reason for this is before we start packing, I realize I quickly have to load all the GPS tracks on the GPSs. It's probably not the best time to quickly put tracks on GPSs. But that's the general idea. Let's see if that works.
Like that? I don't know, but we've got a problem. No bike is allowed to brake.
allowed to brake in the desert. Otherwise,
We'll
you know what we
fix
do?
it.
No, we'll fix it. If we can't fix it, we'll just cover it with thorn trees, with thorn branches,
Yeah.
and we'll come and ride out. And I mean, we are 100 k's away from Taal.
Yeah.
It's two days ride, and then we'll just come and fetch the bike again. Check. Bob's bringing gifts.
My plan.
The answer to all our problems.
We got 3 meters high to go.
Yeah, we've still got 3 meters to go, Bob.
We can go to this.
Still got 3 meters to go. Right. So
Okay, sharp.
next.
With breakfast done, we head out of the lodge, and instead of merely jumping over the little border fence into Botswana, we follow it to the Gemsbok border post, a couple of kilometers away. The South African side seems quiet, but we would soon be reminded that bureaucracy knows no shortcuts. And under Uncle Cyril's smiling gaze of approval, we export our jovial administrative challenge to the Botswana side.
Sal lekker sandjies ry, hè?
Lekker seintjies ry, ja.
Sandjie, nooi vir my.
Yeah. It's just after 11, the sun's baking. It's obviously also the best time of the day to go and ride into the sand.
It can only get easier.
Yes, it can only get easier. Hoe voel jy oor die sand storie?
We'll be fine.
Okay.
Donnie's answer doesn't seem very convincing. But here we are, finally in Botswana, heading north towards a town called Struisendam, where we'll get off the gravel and into the desert. During a previous season on Footpeg Diaries, we customized 2 Trans Alps, courtesy of Honda South Africa. Fani adapted his white bike to closer resemble what he needed in an adventure tourer, while I retrofitted my black Trans Alp as a more off-road bias big adventurer. We decided to take these 2 very different machines on this extreme trip. 5 days in the desert will be the best real-life testing environment anyone can come up with. Just north of Struisendam, we get the group together to prepare for our campaign's first assault on the red sand.
The sun is now at the top. You can't see the texture of the sand you're riding in. You just hope you're alright. So that's what we're going to do now. Into the sandy yonder we go.
If you're not comfortable or experienced with riding thick, hot sand, these first few kilometers are crucial. This is where you manage to calm your initial nerves and get excited by the challenges lying ahead, or where you lose your confidence and all your hope for the next 5 days. These margins are paper thin.
This is lekker. Hou goed rustig, maar nou is het.
Is jy okay, Fani?
In dit geval ja, maar ek is okay.
Is jy alright, Fani? Nee, wag.
Is jy okay, Fani?
Ek het die kaart geval, Pierre.
Is jy okay, John?
Fani gaan sit daar nie. Dit is nie voete.
We moeten praten.
Ja,
Je begint.
ja. En ek kan nie ver. Ek sal nie hierdie saam gaan ry nie. Ek is eerlik met jou.
Fani, het jy 'n lekker watertjie gevat?
Ik heb net water gedrink.
Okay. Voel die skouer?
My arm is baie seer en my kop. Ek het geblackout. My kop geslaan, dis alles swart.
Wat is dit?
Ek kan nie rustig ry nie. Ek wil vinniger ry.
Ja, hoe soos wat reg is. Wat jou
Wat
instink is
reg
reg.
is.
Jou instink is reg.
Maar ek gaan nie
Jou instink is reg. Kyk hier, is hierdie ding af is nie.
Ja, hy leeg 'n paar.
Dis daai ander fiets.
Sit hier onder die skaduwee van hierdie boom as jy wil vir 'n rukkie. Dis dalk goed om net skaduwee te kry. Dit moet eens gebreek word.
Presies. Mooi.
Wat maak ek nou met hom?
Ek gaan nie hierdie doen vir 5 dae nie. Ek gaan dit nie doen vir 5 dae nie. Hoe verder ons ingaan, hoe dieper is die hoe meer is daar.
Kom ons druk 'n rukkie deur. Jy sien daar's groot duine daarbo wat opgaan. Kom ons draai hulle eers. As ons oor daai duine kom, dan gaan ons aan. As ons nie oor hulle kom nie, dan herbesin ons.
The fact that Fani's medical aid phoned him 3 days before the trip and informed him that he will not be covered in Botswana for medical emergencies added to his trepidation.
Hoe voel jy? Ek gaan jou bike optel. Dan vat ek hom vir jou hier so uit.
The fall broke one of the rear view mirrors clear off the metal mount on the handlebar. But aside from that, the bike was fine.
Ja, ek is jammer met jou. Ek gaan dit nie doen nie.
Kan jy nie?
Nee. So ek gaan nie almal se trip op omdat ek dit nie kan doen nie.
A huge call to make right at the start of our desert expedition. Decisions need to be made, and contingency plans need to be activated. John doubles back to see why we're not riding with a group anymore.
As hulle nou die derde bakkie gemaak, Rieke se bakkie. Kan jy saam met?
En dan
Ry uit Rieke se bakkie. Dan het ons 2 voertuie daai laaste 2 dae.
So we decided it's maybe better if he takes another vehicle, which is at the lodge where we stopped last night. So France is going to turn back now and follow Fani all the way back to the lodge. We'll find them tonight in the middle of the desert somewhere. We'll stop and we'll send them some breadcrumbs and GPS. That's the way it is. Into the midday heat. Mad dogs and Englishmen, eh?
John and I eventually catch up. We inform the group of Fani's decision and then follow them into the dunes.
John is agter my. Oh. Huh? 6. Ja, want Fani is weg. Okay. Alright.
When it comes to pushing big bikes through deep desert sand, I rate Rikus as probably one of the best riders in southern Africa. And we all gladly follow as he leads us through the first couple of hours. The Borman brothers follow hot on our heels with a tuck shop truck. You can tell by the smile on Nick's face that he's enjoying this just as much as we are. We sourced the GPS routes for this adventure from riders and 4x4 enthusiasts across the country. But we knew that these tracks would only serve as general guides at best, as it's common occurrence for tracks to get totally covered by the wind on a regular basis.
Go, go, go! Gaan links as jy kan. Right, ek kom.
A lot of unusual things happen in the desert. With that in mind, here's something you've never seen before. Adrian dropping his bike. While Donnie and Adrian finds the tracks up ahead, I fall back and make sure everyone catches up and follows the trail that they're leaving for us. They say lightning never strikes twice. Well, they were clearly lying.
Ek's alright. Ek's alright.
I've done the Simpson Desert crossing in Australia.
Yeah?
It's 520 kilometers. I did it solo. And it's a lot like this.
You did it solo?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But this is a lot bigger dunes. There's animals here. No, the Simpson's amazing, but this is... I don't know we have this.
Nice, ne?
Woo,
They call it the mini Simpson.
No, this is the proper Simpson.
Was it?
Yeah, no, this is proper.
Because I know a lot of South Africans who
and you know
call
what?
it the
The
mini
Aussie
Simpson.
that built that line was a French guy. It's a Frenchman's line.
Yeah.
But he was definitely drunk. Because on the crest of every dune there's a turn.
Yeah? Oh,
yeah,
no.
The guy that built this was definitely a more senior class of land surveyor because he made it straight.
When you're riding with a group through difficult terrain, the importance of regular rest stops and head counts cannot be overstated. It only takes one tired or lost rider to dramatically impact the trip for everyone involved.
So, day one of our Botswana adventure, and I had a pretty big fall. The second one was more impressive. I hit my head pretty badly, and my leg is sore, so I decided to not carry on. I actually rode the bike back to the border. I went to go leave it back at the lodge where we started this morning, and I came back with one of the bakkies that we left at the lodge. So now I'm in the bakkie with Frans, and yeah, we're trying to catch up with the team. I think by this time they would have probably set up a camp somewhere, but they're waiting for us because we've got all their stuff.
But we weren't putting up camp yet. In fact, I was actually buying a farm.
Neem een foto.
Pierre,
Huh?
this is not the right place for tea.
I thought there would be shade on this side of the dune.
Ah, plannenmaker. You pick it up on your own?
Yeah, I'll try my best.
1, 2, 4.
First pickup of the trip.
I'm just scared of the killer highlights.
Yeah, me too. It's coming, I hear it.
Daar gaan we julle. Ons kyk net gou grondsamples geneem want ons sien hierso as die 3 torings besig om te vrek. So hierso.
Koop net ietsie, ek nou weet ek het klaar gekyk. Is jy die eienaamsagent? Ek wil mee. Ek het 'n deposito neergesit.
The area we were riding in during this expedition is mainly being used as communal grazing land in the south, with wildlife management areas bordering the Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park in the north. It's therefore important to remember that we are here as guests and to act accordingly. That implies that we're tourists, and if there's one thing that tourists are very good at, it's getting lost.
Ons is heel in ons moet daar oor hy duin wees, maar daar's nie 'n pad nie. Nee, maar daar's nie 'n pad nie, hoe gaan die waggie sou oorkom? Ons gaan kyk of hy so omdraai, ek weet nie. So omgaan. Ek dink hy moet so weer terug gaan.
Yes, we were lost in a desert area the size of Switzerland, with no geographically identifiable markers, road signs or infrastructure. And to make matters worse, we have to stop somewhere along a very specific GPS track for the 2 buckies with our camping gear to find us before sunset. Otherwise, we're spending the night in our riding gear, sleeping on the sand next to our bikes. I see a possible track on a ridge and I scout ahead.
Get hom, Adrian.
The others follow while I jump ahead to the top of the next big dune. After almost an hour's struggle, we eventually find a track that seems to be going in the right direction. The Borman brothers stay hot on our trail with a refreshment lorry.
Rikus, ons gaan al verder van die roete af, hè? Ons gaan al verder weg van die roete af. Die roete van daai kant toe. Van die roete af! Hallo op 'n paadjie.
Another direction for another half an hour.
Dis reg, ja. Here maar, ons ry nou 'n bietjie lekker. Ek kyk wat daar bo aangaan of daar iets is daar. Ons moet by daai trek bly. Ja, dis die einde van die roete hierdie. Hier, hier pad hierso. Kom ons staan net daar bo en kyk of ons iets sien nie.
And eventually, it seems like we're close to our plotted GPS track. Maybe a little closer than we expected.
Een boom. Een boom. Wel, dit beter as hierdie kant niks.
We stop under the tree to wait for the other 2 vehicles and to set up an interesting wild camping experience, possibly without camping gear and in an area where the yellow-eyed, black-maned Kgalagadi lions roam freely.
Ja, daar is baie paaie wat jy kan vat, maar weet nie waar toe gaan hulle nie.
Ja, hy wys op die pad wys op tracks vir.
Ja, dan staan 4x4 required, maar hy's weg hier.
Okay, so yeah, it's difficult now because we don't have signal. We've been following the tracks. So here we've got a couple of bike tracks
And we also have some bucky tracks that there's no road here, but we're following these roads. So it's difficult because these two also split. The bikes went that way and the bucky went this way. So now we're looking for them. I don't know where we're gonna go.
Luckily, we had the Borman brothers and their cross-country catering car with us. All we could do was patiently wait while drinking a cold one and watch them produce another delicious miracle from a hidden fridge somewhere.
Yo, T-boy.
Niks papi.
Eventually, the Ranger pushes its nose over the dune, with Frans and Fani on board, followed closely by Bob, driving the bucky that brought Fani back across the border.
It's rough, bro. I'm not 100%. I'm worried about my leg and blah blah blah, the whole story. So I'm not confident. I'm not giving it I'm not riding the way that I should ride it.
You usually ride.
Yes.
You cannot ride this with concussion.
Yeah. I had a little bit of a lam arm.
Yeah, a lummy.
And my head I blacked out completely when I fell. So yeah, it's probably a mild concussion. It's not hectic, but my neck is stiff and sore. But maybe I should stop falling for this year. Maybe 2023 is just that's maybe what's wrong.
Because you said at some stage, I'm just going to go home. And you rethought that. You decided, screw it, I'm coming back. That shows balls, bro.
Okay, kom ons gaan drink brandewyn.
Brandewyn.
At the end of the day, we traveled a mere 100 kilometers from our starting point. Tomorrow has to be a big one to catch up with what we've lost today. At least we're now all together again, and we set up camp enjoying a magnificent bush meal before we go to bed snoring as loudly as possible to scare the lions away. Join us in our next episode when we wrestle our big bikes deeper into the Red Dune Desert, pick up an injury or two, and flirt with dehydration in scorching temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius.